Hi, fellow traders. I hope everybody's having a great weekend so far. It's a little cold here, sun shining. Unfortunately, I can't go to the football game today because I'm determined to get better. And sitting out in this cold weather wouldn't do me any better. It wouldn't do me any good. So, gonna have to sit here and watch it on TV. But I wanted to, while I was here, go ahead and put together my recap for the week. This is the first recap I've done in the last couple of weeks. First one I'm going to do with Trader View, which I am beginning to love. There's so much more I can do with it. I just haven't learned how to do it yet, but I've got enough data and enough information that really helps me analyze my trades and kind of pinpoint where I need to improve. I know I don't need to trade sit. That's the number one improvement that I need to make. But it is great, and you're gonna see that here in a minute. But the first thing I want to talk to you guys about is, a subject that we're all familiar with, but like lot of other concepts, we only apply it to the obvious. Like when we hear the term return on investment, we immediately think of the investment world. We don't realize that we subconsciously apply this to just about everything that we do. So how many of you heard the phrase, what's in it for me? If I do this or if I do that, then what's in it for me? Or if I put this amount of time in it or that amount of time in it, what am I going to get out of it? What am I getting out of the deal? We do the same thing when we get into trading. We look at, if I put this much in it, how much can I get out of it? And this is where they get you. And this is where they got me. And we all get that way because we're all wired the same pretty much. You believe that the more money you can put into what you're doing, the more you can get out of it. Think about it now. The larger our position size in a trade is, the more money we can make. So if we have 100 share position and we get a point, we make $100. But if we put 1,000 shares on it and it moves a point, we make $1,000. So naturally, we're going to feel that the more money we spend and invest in our trading business, the more we're going to get out of it. So these guys that post thousands of dollar gains a day or a week, they appeal to the sense in us. And we automatically don't mind spending $5,000 to learn how to make $50,000 in a month. It's just common sense. It strikes a nerve, and it's just what we are looking to do. And honestly, I almost got caught up in it. It's no secret. I've shared with you the fact that I had to go through a lot of financial difficulties. After my son was born prematurely, I had to just rebuild myself to get out of that hole that was there. And it was a labor of love, and I'd do it again for the same result. But I saw this guy on TV and was talking about penny stocks and how you could take a couple $1,000s and turn it into $1 million in a couple of years. And I'm like, it's a no-brainer to invest. If I can invest $5,500 in something and in a couple of years potentially make $1 million, that's no-brainer. I didn't have $5,500 in cash, but I got a credit card, and to my surprise, ended up with a $10,500 credit limit. So I was all set to do the $5,500, and I was thinking, I can add more to my account now and trade with more money. But thank God I came to my senses and I didn't do it. And I can thank my students for that, because that day I was supposed to meet with that guy after school on the phone and give my information and set everything up. And that day I had a heart to heart with my class, and we talked about return on investment, and how what they're investing in this class, all of them felt it was to get a letter grade. It's like they put the work in, they put the time in, and their return on it is a grade. And it really was beyond that. It's not about a grade. It should be deeper than that. These are skills, these are life skills that I was teaching them that they can use to continue to further their education or to go in the industry right out of high school and make some money. Or they could actually make money while they're in high school. Because some of them got internships. But the thing is, what they realized was that what return each of us wanted out of their investment is going to be different if they really sit down and think about it. They were told from early on that you go to school, you work hard to get a grade. And then, when they get to high school, it's, well, you work hard, you get good grades, and then you can get a scholarship. You can get scholarships, and it can help you go to this college or that college. Same thing with sports. So when they started thinking about it, they realized that the return they all wanted is going to be a little bit different. For us, some of us, it's a car. We want that dream car. Now, I'd love to be able to buy one of these things. But where am I going to drive it? In Columbia, South Carolina. Where? So buying this, I'll never get to experience or enjoy what this car is fully capable of. So, I had to think about that. So it wasn't a car for me. It could be a house. You could look for this fancy house on the beach, the vacation home, or it could be stacks of cash. We could be wanting to make all this money. We just want to be rich, have stacks of cash laying around the house. And for a lot of us, and for me, it's family. It's being able to spend time and fellowship with your family like this and do things that really bond us and tie us together. So it could be that, but the bottom line is it's all about the return on an investment and really understanding what return you want out of it. Because in your trading business, it's going to be, the return on investment is going to be the cornerstone. It's essential to your success. It's going to let you know whether you're getting the results you want. And if not, it allows for you to change very quickly. I work with several traders that have spent over 20 grand in trading education. And out of all that money, they never were able to learn how to execute. Why? And it's very simple. It's because they never saw any trading live. They saw it after the fact. You can see videos of people trading that's probably scripted. That doesn't do anything good. And it wasn't until they were able to see what happens real time, what you have to think about real time, what goes through your mind, the problems, the issues that you have. It's not easy trading a small account, and this market makes it even tougher. But there is a way, there's a process that we all have to go through. We have to invest the time more so than capital. It's about the time and the sweat equity that you put into doing what you do. Now, I'm not saying that the harder you work, the more successful you're going to be. The harder you work, the more focused your work is. The more focused you are on the process. the better chance you have of being successful in this industry. And it's all about getting the best return on your investment. And that's why I changed the model for my community. That's why I took the criticisms. That's why I took the comments and all the advice. And I thought about it, and I'm like, look, if I'm a teacher at heart, that's what it needs to be about. It needs to be about education. It needs to be about return on your investment. It's not about me saying you can make all this money, so this is how much this is worth. That's not what it's about. For me, it's about you learning and building that foundation that no man can tear down. And once that happens, no matter how many times you get knocked down, you're going to be able to get back up because you have that foundation. It hasn't sunken in. It hasn't turned into a sinkhole and swallowed you up. No, it's all about you and what you're going to invest and what you're going to get out of it that's going to help you continue to build off that foundation and continue to reach higher. Whatever your goal is, whatever it is, that's what you're going to be striving for. So that's my focus. That's why I changed everything the way I did it. And I want to be that person that can help you achieve that return that you're looking for. And it's not going to cost you an arm and a leg. It's just going to cost you taking your time, believing in the process, and doing what it takes to continue to get to these next steps. To be a successful trader, you guys have to understand why stocks move. You have to understand what's making them move. And this is why education is the primary focus I have. This is why we have to have live and unscripted day trading. There's no way. How many successful people in this world did it without a model? Did it without being able to watch somebody else and learn from how they did it? It's just like, this is what I hated about school was there were a lot of classes where the teacher just told me, this is the way you need to do it. But the teachers that actually showed me, that got in there with me and demonstrated it and gave me live examples, I was able to connect the dots. And mainly, it helped me even more because I had dyslexia. And that put connected all of the dots for me a whole lot better. So that's why I took on that. My dad was a teacher, and I remember him talking about, you learn by doing. And that's what I brought to my teaching. And that's what I'm trying to bring to you guys now. That you learn by seeing what I do, by listening to what I think and what I'm saying. Now, some people may turn me off because they've already got to the point where they don't need to hear it. They already understand it. But when you're trying to figure out how to execute trades, how to manage your trades, what should you be looking at? Because it's real easy to look at a trade or setup after the fact, after it's happened. But it's very difficult to get in a position or know when to get in a position or what to look for when it's time to get in a position while it's actually happening. And that's why I'm doing what I do. I've got a simple and straightforward education model. When you subscribe to the community, you get access to everything. All the classes, all the webinars. You never need to upgrade to anything. And what I try to do in all the classes, I try to teach you step by step everything I did to work my way out of my 9 to 5 and become a full-time trader. That's what I'm sharing with you. Now, this is what you get. You get access to the day trading education chat room. You get, that's where I stream my platform live, my scans. I do my daily pre-market watch list / strategy sessions. At periods of the day, I have Benzinga streaming live. Obviously, when we are trading the first hour, I'm not going to have it playing. I eliminate as much noise as I can. Weekly education webinars you have access to. Also, we have the Day Trading the Average Joe Ray class. It's 20 classes. We do one a week. We just started. We did the very first class this week. They are recorded. So if you join us and you missed the first class, you can watch the recording. You learn the processes and strategies. Again, it's made me successful. Now I've updated it. I've added trading ETFs, trading IPOs, my pre-market trading. In the class, you have live mentoring because it's a live class, and I'm there to answer questions about whatever you need to ask me. You also have access to the swing trading chat room. That's only open for like the first hour or two every day, because if I take a swing position, it's going to be within the first hour of the market open. I have very specific strategies and very specific entry triggers, and if they don't trigger within a certain amount of time, I'm not going to mess with it. Because when I was doing this, I didn't have all day to sit here and wait to enter something. I was looking for these strategies that would trigger in the morning, that I could get in, set my profit target, set my stop, and go on about my day. And come back at the end of the day to see, where I'm at. Now, yeah, I had alerts set on my phone so that if I was hitting something, it would alert me, and I'll know to get back to my computer as soon as possible. But they're simple strategies. You get access to the Swing Trading the Average Joe Way class. There are 10 classes, and I teach the strategies that work for me. And also, you get the Day Traders or the Traders Mindset Workshop. And these are 4 90-minute sessions. And they really help bring everything you need together. It helps you develop the right mindset to be a trader. And that, to me, is the most important thing. So how much does it cost? If you want to subscribe monthly, $99 a month. Quarterly, you can save 23% for $229, or yearly, you can save about 50% and subscribe for $5.99. And I made it this way. It's simple. You don't have to buy anything extra. The only thing extra you'll ever have to buy is if you want one-on-one mentoring. That's the only thing extra. Anything I add to my classes, anything I add to this, you get. You'll never have to pay another dime. And I felt that's the direction we need to go. I'm not trying to entice you with all of these things. I want to help you build a foundation you're going to need. Because if you fall down, that foundation is going to be something that you can get back up off of. And that's what's important. All right, so let's take a look at my week here. Well, no, actually, this is a little bit longer than a week. This is like 8 days. The whole month of November is where I started this. I said I was going to use TraderView to track the month of November and December. And I was really trying to see, how well this works. And if it's going to give me the information that I needed to help me, reflect and try to do better on my trades. And actually, it does. It actually gives me more. Um, there, right now, I'm just using the free version, but once I maximize its potential, I may look into upgrading, because I like the data and the analytics that it really gives me. It helps me pinpoint where my problems come from. Now, this week I know I shouldn't have been trading for a couple of days, because I had a relapse. I got sick again. I had to go back on some medicine, and it actually kind of came back a little worse. I ended up with bronchitis this time, and I made the decision to keep trading. I mean, I felt an obligation, and usually that's what causes you to make mistakes. Whenever you feel obligated to trade, that you have to trade, you have to make money, you have to do this, you have to do that, and you have all this pressure on you, that's when you make mistakes. And that's when you start trading outside of yourself. And that's really what happened for a couple of days here. So if you look at this, I'm practically 50-50 in terms of winning and losing trades. 48% to 51%. 48.1 to 51.9. Just say 48 to 52. The most wins I've had in a row were 2. The most losses I've had in a row was 4. So my average winning trade, 172.87. Average losing trade, 119.50. That's not the best ratio, but it could be worse. I mean, it could really be worse. So for me, this is not a bad deal. My largest trade was 377.75, winning. Largest loss, 380. Average per share gain is 6 cents per share. Average trade per gain is 21.27. So, not too bad. And I look at, my average daily gain, once you factor it, is $71.78. Now, what I've always maintained is you got to learn how to make $50 a day consistently before you can start ramping up. And this is realistic when you're trading smaller size and you start where we started. Trading smaller size, you're not going to make the big profits, but you're not, if you lose consistently, you're not going to lose as much. If you win consistently, you're not going to win as much, but you're going to develop that skill and that consistency, and that's what's important. As bad as things have been going for me, and it's not the market. It's not the market. It's me. It's me beating myself up. Some of you guys that emailed me or sent me a message at 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, and I answer you back, and you're like, what are you still doing up? I mean, I'm working. I'm studying my trades. I'm looking at trying to find ways where I could actually get a little bit better to work within my system. And, I'm up doing it sometimes. But when you're sick, you're not well. I'm not as young as I used to be from what the doctor told me. And there's no, I have to take better care of myself. I have to get rest when I'm sick. I have to allow my body to recuperate. So, I guess this is the first sign of me turning that corner and saying that I'm crossing over the hill. But I feel bad because this is something that I really stress, is that when you're not feeling well, when you're not right that day, the best thing for you to do is not trade, because it usually doesn't end up well. But I'm doing just the opposite. I'm not feeling well. Things may be, I'm feeling obligated to make trades when technically I could be just as good of a help, not doing anything but working with you guys. So just not put too much pressure on myself. So going forward, I'm going to make sure that I practice what I preach. And if things aren't right that day, I'm not going to trade. And because it makes a big difference. Instead of having a $380 loss, I could have added $380 to this. I could have added $500 or $600 to this had I stuck to and traded within myself. But I didn't. And I'm paying the consequence for it. Thankfully, we're not red. That's the key. So we've got a couple more weeks. We're going to have 2 days out for Thanksgiving, and it's going to be a little bit shorter month going forward. But I think if I focus and do the things I'm supposed to do, we can turn this ship around. All I want to do is start the year off with $5,000 in my account without me having to deposit and then work. We'll be working that $5,000 into 2018. That's all I want to do. But these are some of the charts, and this is telling me, how many trades I've done, on average a day. So it's like my most active day was Wednesday. This tells me my performance, based on each day. Looks like Thursday is my worst day of the week. And this tells me how many trades I take for each hour of the day. So between 9 and 10, I'm averaging about 8. Between 10 and 11, around 4. 11 to 12, about 3 here, about 4.5 here, about 3 here, about a little over 2 here. So obviously these are going to be less, because really between 3 and 4 I shouldn't be trading at all. That's when I have to leave to go pick my son up. But sometimes I'll leave some trades on to try to get the fade into the close. So when I get back just around 4 o'clock, I can exit right at the close and try to catch that fade. But it hasn't really worked out that well, as you can see here. And this tells me the hours of the day that I tend to not do well. From 10 to 11, 11 to 12, 12 to 1 is when I lose the most money. So what I can do is just cut out trading between 10 and 12. Between 10 and 1. And then just stick trading between 9 and 10. Don't enter any new trades. Because, what this is telling me that this is a time of the day, which we already know. This is not the easiest time of the day to trade and make money. It's the first hour of the day, and then it's after lunch running in the close. So I don't take any trades really after 4 o'clock. If I do, it's going to be something I'm holding overnight. So that won't show up. Oops. Running back and forth. All right. This is telling me how long, on average, I'm holding these trades. So between 2 and 4 minutes, 5 and 10 minutes, all of these are pretty close, but I'm holding more of my trades longer. Between 1 and 2 hours, between 2 and 4 hours is when I'm making the most. So this is, tells me a lot. This is something that Profitly didn't really give me a snapshot of. How long do I hold my trades? And this really helps me kind of put things in perspective. And there are probably other ways I can use this data, but the data is new to me in terms of what I've been using. So as I develop it, I'll be sharing it with you. And then this just shows the day. I've had 3 red days. I think it was, Thursday last week, and then Wednesday and Thursday this week that were red days. So you can see I had a pullback here and another pullback here. And we're starting to, make that little push up so we can continue to build on this momentum. Because really what I want to help everybody do is get ready for 2018. 2018 is coming. This is the time to put in the groundwork, lay the foundation, so that January 1st, 2018, we can hit the ground running. And we're ready to, to make 2018 the best year. All right, so that's it for me today. I'll see whoever's going to join us tomorrow morning for our swing watch list build and strategy session tomorrow morning. Those that join us, I'll see you there. If not, I will see you guys in the community first thing Monday morning.